Walk through any market in Nigeria and you will notice something. Almost everything is available in the smallest possible size. Powdered milk, tomato paste, detergent, even Baileys now comes in a sachet. This is sachetization. And once you understand it, you'll start seeing it everywhere. Sachetization is simply this: taking a product or service and breaking it into smaller, more affordable units without destroying its value. The full tin of Milo. Many households budget carefully for that, but a Milo sachet, that's pocket money. The same product but two completely different entry points. Nigeria didn't stumble into this. Inflation, stagnant wages, the high cost of living, all of it compresses what people can afford to spend in a single transaction. Businesses had two options: to reduce prices and destroy their margins, or restructure what they are selling. The fast-moving consumer goods industry mastered sachetization decades ago. Global giants like Nestlé didn't invent the concept, but they perfected it for the Nigerian market. By offering both the tin and the sachet, Nestlé reaches the middle-class customer and the daily wage earner in the same lane. Brands that fail to adapt their packaging to local purchasing power, or that only offer bulk formats, lost to competitors who understood how Nigerians actually shop. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Most people think sachetization stops at physical products. It doesn't. Take investment platforms like Bamboo and Truve. A full share of Apple or Tesla was completely out of reach for someone with 5,000 naira to spare. These platforms made it possible to own a fraction of a global company. That's sachetization of the stock market. Piggyvest applied the same logic to savings. You don't need to save a large lump sum to start. You can begin with 100 naira, not because 100 naira is meaningful in isolation, but because meeting people where they are is how you get them through the door. And then there are the POS agents. POS machines were not built to be an alternative to ATMs, but for millions of Nigerians, that's exactly what they've become. They are closer to home, cheaper in fees, so for the average Nigerian, POS day for them, at least for withdrawals and deposits. What started in banks became something you could access at the woman selling provisions at the end of your street. But it's not a perfect story. Sachet culture has a cost, and in Nigeria, that cost often ends up in the gutter, literally. Single-use plastics from sachet are one of the biggest contributors to urban waste, flooding, and block drainage in cities like Lagos and Port Harcourt. The same economic logic that makes sachets work is also what makes them hard or almost impossible to replace. And for businesses, getting it wrong is expensive. The first is margin erosion. If you haven't done the unit economics properly, you end up serving more customers and making less money. The math has to work before you launch that small size. Second, brand perception. There are products that lose something essential when they are broken down too small. If your entire value proposition is exclusivity and prestige, 100 naira sachet at the motor park, well, not so prestigious. Third, infrastructure. Smaller units mean more packaging, more distribution touch points, more complexity. The businesses that do this well have usually sorted out their supply chain before sorting out their pricing. There's a delicate balance worth noting. SAPA and sachetization are directly proportional. The harder the economy gets, the more the market finds ways to keep people participating. So if you're building anything right now, an app, a service, or a physical product, the question isn't just what it costs. The question is, what's the smallest version of this that someone in this economy can still access? And does that version still deliver real value? Because the sachet was never about wanting less. It was always about access. And in Nigeria, that access for millions of people is slowly slipping away. What products have you seen in a sachet that genuinely surprised you? Drop it in the comments. I would love to see what you guys have come across. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.